Oh, what up, you guys? John's Moto Garage. Welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you for tuning in. As you can see here, I've got the dinero. I've got the cash from our second flip. Alright, you guys, buenos dias. Welcome back to the channel. So we did it. We sold the Yamaha Striker. Today I'm going to go over, just review what I paid for it. We'll go over how much I sold it for, what the profit is, and reveal what the budget is now for the bike moving forward. Stay tuned to the end. I've got some exciting announcements as well to go along with this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so if you're new to the channel, then welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to all those longtime viewers and subscribers and supporters. Big shout out. I want to do a quick shout out to some of the companies that have supported me. This isn't paid. It's just some of the people who've hit me up and supported me. Moto, they do this GPS tracker. I did a video on that. Breaker Boys crew for hooking it up with some swag. Of course, my dude Rebel Reaper, Matt over at Rebel Reaper, always helping out. And then also to Slimeball Nation, they do some apparel and sent me out a couple shirts as well. So big shout out to all you guys and anybody else who has supported the channel, especially Cruiser Originals on the Dyna. Update on the Dyna coming soon. All right, so with the YouTube Moto Flip project, I take a $2,000 to $3,000 budget, buy a motorcycle, and we're trying to flip / trade our way up to my dream bike. So the first bike I bought was $2,500, link below for that video. We sold that bike for $4,250, so now I had a budget of $4,250. And the second bike I bought was a Yamaha Striker. I picked it up for $3,100 on Craigslist. I bought the bike at night. It was kind of hit or miss if it was gonna pan out, but luckily in the daylight, the bike checked out. Nothing crazy, no surprises. So I went ahead and listed that, and I already sold that motorcycle. It took me about a week and a half, maybe, yeah, about a week and a half to sell that bike. So the big question is, how much did I sell that bike for? KBB trade-in was around $4,000 with the retail around $5,500 to $5,800, and I listed it for $4,800. Had a dude come check it out. Turned out to be a guy who I'd actually sold a bike to in the past, and because we already had kind of like a business relationship, he has a small dealership here local. He asked me how much I needed to get out of it, and I told him if I can get $4,200, I'll be happy. So I sold it for $4,200, which some of you were spot on with that price. I could have gotten more had I been patient. He probably would have paid more for it, but this is somebody who I may go back to in the future to sell bikes to, and he was real cool. When it's easy doing business with certain people, I'm okay negotiating a little bit. So we sold it for $4,200. So gross profit on that bike came out to $1,100. So I went from a budget of $4,250, add $1,100 to that. That puts our new budget at $5,350 for the YouTube Moto Flip project. Now, as you can probably see, just because I have that as my budget doesn't mean I have to buy a bike that costs that amount. I can still buy $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 motorcycles. Once we build that capital up big enough, I'll be in a position where I can buy 2 or 3 bikes, which is nice because if I see a good deal but I'm not sure on it, I can still kind of take a risk and still have enough funds left over to pick up another good deal as well, so we can keep the project moving along. So pretty wild. With just my first 2 motorcycles, we more than doubled the initial investment of $2,500 to where now we're at $5,350. Super stoked on that. Now, I said there was some good exciting news. Exciting news is I already found, purchased, and got a deposit on the 3rd motorcycle of the series. So stay tuned for that. Of course, we'll do some videos to reveal it. If you want to guess below what bike that is, feel free. Another big exciting news, the Harley Davidson Fx Dx. For some of the newer viewers on the channel, you probably haven't even seen the bike because it's been in the shop over at Cruiser Originals. We had some issues. I blew out completely destroyed the forks, the front end. Had some other stuff that was going to be worked on. Ryan hit me up yesterday or the day before, and the bike is done. They finished it. They got everything they need. So they definitely came through strong again. If you haven't already, check out Cruiser Originals YouTube channel because they're doing a Harley Softail M8 build to do stunts and crazy stuff on that. But they also are always pulling through. So big shout out. Thank you guys for hooking it up. I'm hoping, I've been working a ton lately, so it'll probably be Thursday this week before I can get out there and pick up my Harley. Super excited to get that back so we can get back into the wheelies and all that good stuff. So I think that's going to do it for now. I'll show you guys a couple clips of the Yamaha Striker. Again, that was an awesome bike. I'll do a full ride review impressions video on it. Guess below, what do you think this next bike is that I already picked up with a budget of $5,350? And I think that's going to do it. Like and subscribe if you dig it. Hit me on Instagram at John's Moto Garage. You can pick up your JMG merch. Link below for that. and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for all the support. Adios. Nos vemos. What up, you guys? John's Moto Garage. So we're gonna do one last maiden voyage, not maiden voyage, what am I talking about? One last ride on the Yamaha Striker. This is the bike, second bike for the Moto Flip project, and I don't even know if I've done a video yet on it, so we'll do the whole video all in one, the buy-in, the sell-in, the whole nine on the on this quick ride. And I apologize, it's a little bit dark, but I'll show you some overlay clips and stuff on the bike. Yeah, so stay tuned to the end, and we'll go over what I paid for the bike, how much I sold it for, the whole nine. We'll just do it all in one shot. I had a guy in the last video getting a little bit, I'd say he's losing a little bit of patience, you could say. He's like, dude, I've watched like 3 of your videos and you still haven't revealed how much you paid for the motorcycle. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm sorry, bro. So let's kick it off. This is a 2013 Yamaha Striker 1300. It's a 1300cc V-twin liquid-cooled 5-speed. Kind of chopper style right from the factory. Really cool motorcycle. I've had 2 or 3 on the garage before. I'll talk a little bit about what I like about this bike, all that good stuff. But first, let's hit the Moto Flip project details. So what is the YouTube Moto Flip project? Basically, it's a series I'm doing where I try to start with a small budget of $2,000 to $3,000 and trade my way up to my dream motorcycle. Not necessarily something you guys would be able to do everywhere. Somebody pointed out, you know, in certain states you got super high state taxes, private taxes on purchases, private party sales, but then also weather does not permit this everywhere. Arizona year-round, you've got a market for buying and selling, so it is doable. But it is something that in theory over the long term you could do. Start with a little cheap bike and work your way up. So the first bike I bought, it was a Triumph Thunderbird 2010. You'll have to check out those videos. I'll put a link below so you can see. Basically my budget right now was $4,250. Stay tuned to the end though. I will reveal how much I paid for this bike and how much I'm selling it for to this gentleman here who's following me over to his shop, who actually happens to own a shop here, local motorcycle dealership. Really cool guy, and I've actually sold a bike to him in the past, a couple years ago. But anyway, this Yamaha Striker, it's like I said, 2013 liquid cooled 5-speed, and it's a chopper style motorcycle. Of course, I'm not going to be ripping on it because the new owner's right behind me. He already paid me for it. These are comfortable bikes. This has forward controls, but it fits it perfectly because the bars come back to you, kind of a drag bar style. And the 1300cc in this, it's not a bike that initially strikes me as like a muscle bike, but when you compare numbers 0 to 60 and, you know, quarter mile and all that, it's actually not super far off from some of your main muscle bikes or some of your big muscle bikes. So that's the thing with motorcycles, it's all like, you know, fractions of seconds. But these sit nice and low to the ground. They're comfortable. It looks raked out, but it's not a super awkward setup, I guess is what I'm getting at. Anyway, I actually bought this at night and I'm selling it at night. It's just now starting to get dark. So yeah, I bought this a few nights back. It just happened to be on Craigslist by random. Saw it. It was right down the street. I hit the dude up. I had cash ready to go because I was going to buy another motorcycle. That didn't pan out. I looked at 2 other bikes before this deal worked out. A little side-by-side action, that's awesome. Alright, what everybody's waiting to know, how much did I pay for the motorcycle and what am I selling it for? So this bike, believe it or not, my budget was $4,250. However, that doesn't mean you have to spend your max budget. I actually picked up this bike for, oh, brakes weren't good. I actually picked up this motorcycle for only $3,100, believe it or not. So I paid $3,100 for it, and the big question, how much am I selling it for? I listed it for $4,800, and I think it's worth that. I probably could have sold it for that, but I'm selling it for $4,200. So that'll be a gross profit of $1,100. Not a bad start to our total project. That's going to put our total funds, I had $4,250. That's going to put our total funds now to $5,350. so far. Total profits so far have been $2,850 in about 2-3 weeks since starting this, so that's not bad at all. Now you may be asking, why'd you drop the price so much on the motorcycle? Well, here's the cool thing. The gentleman who I'm selling this to, like I said, I sold him a bike before in the past, and he actually owns a kind of smaller dealership here local, and I think they primarily deal in used motorcycles. And whenever I have a guy like that, who I've sold bikes to people who own dealerships before, especially like this, where it's local, this close by, and I've done business with him before, I'm always willing to kind of work with him on the price, make sure that it's a good deal for both of us, because yeah, it's just good business, and I want to make sure he has enough room to make a decent profit on it. He came with cash. He probably would have paid me $4,500 to $4,800 for it. You know, I'm sure he would have. He basically asked me, what do you got to get out of it? And I told him 42. He didn't haggle, nothing like that. And that's somebody who I'm cool negotiating with and cool doing business with. And we might actually check out his dealership down here. I told him I did my channel, and who knows, maybe this will be somebody who we can link up with in the future to do demo rides and things like that. So this is bike number 2 of the Moto Flip project. Things are moving right along.